Welcome back to Easy English Talk Podcast.
Have you ever felt uncomfortable sitting alone in a quiet room with no phone, no music, just yourself? Many people have that feeling, and today we want to talk about why being alone can feel so hard. Welcome to Easy English Talk Podcast. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Priya. Glad to be here with you all. Today we are discussing how to be happy alone. This is something many people struggle with, so let's explore it together.
You know, Priya, when I think about being alone, I remember a time when I avoided it completely. I would always have the TV on or scroll through my phone just to feel less lonely. It was like I didn't want to face myself.
That's very common, Ryan, and you're not alone in feeling that way. Many people fill their time with noise and distractions because silence feels uncomfortable. Being alone can bring up feelings we're not ready to face.
Exactly. And I think that's where the problem starts. We live in a world that's constantly connected, always busy, always moving. So when we're suddenly alone, it feels strange, even scary.
Yes, and social media makes it worse. We see everyone else looking happy, surrounded by friends, doing exciting things. When we're alone, we start to think something is wrong with us.
That comparison is really damaging, isn't it? We feel like we should always be with someone, always be entertained. But the truth is, being alone is a natural part of life.
Absolutely, and it's not the same as being lonely. Being alone is a state of being by yourself physically. Loneliness is a feeling, an emotional state where you feel disconnected.
That's a great distinction, Priya. You can be alone and feel perfectly happy and peaceful. Or you can be in a room full of people and still feel deeply lonely.
Exactly. So the goal isn't to avoid being alone. The goal is to change how we feel when we are alone. We need to learn how to enjoy our own company.
But why is that so hard for so many people? What makes being alone feel so uncomfortable in the first place? Let's dig into that a bit.
Well, one reason is that we're not taught how to be alone. From a young age, we're always around others, family, friends, classmates. We grow up thinking that being with people is the normal, healthy state.
Right. And then when we're adults, we carry that same belief. We think if we're alone too much, something must be wrong. Maybe we're not likable, or maybe we're missing out on life.
And those thoughts create anxiety. We start to believe that being alone means being unwanted or unloved. So we avoid it, even when we need time to ourselves.
That makes a lot of sense. Another thing I've noticed is that people often confuse being alone with being unproductive. Like if you're not doing something visible or social, you're wasting time.
Yes, our culture values busyness and social connection so much. Rest, reflection, and solitude are seen as less important. But the truth is, being alone can be incredibly productive for your mind and soul.
So how do we start changing that mindset? How do we move from fearing alone time to actually enjoying it? What's the first step?
The first step is to accept that being alone is okay. You have to give yourself permission to spend time by yourself without guilt. Tell yourself it's normal and healthy to be alone sometimes.
That sounds simple, but I bet it's harder than it sounds. A lot of people feel guilty when they turn down plans or stay home. They worry about what others will think.
You're right, and that's why acceptance is so important. You need to believe deep down that your time alone has value. It's not selfish, it's not weird, it's necessary.
I like that, Priya. So once someone accepts that being alone is okay, what comes next? How do they actually start enjoying it? Let's give our listeners something they can try.
One simple way is to spend time in silence without distractions. No phone, no TV, no music. Just sit quietly for 10 or 15 minutes, let your thoughts come and go, and notice what you're feeling.
That sounds peaceful, but also a little intimidating. I think a lot of people would find that silence uncomfortable at first. What should they do if that happens?
That's normal, Ryan, and it's okay to feel uncomfortable. The discomfort is actually a sign that you're not used to being with yourself. Just stay with it, breathe, and let the feeling pass.
So it's like training a muscle in a way. The more you practice being alone and sitting with your thoughts, the easier it gets. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. Over time, that silence becomes less scary and more refreshing. You start to look forward to it because it gives you space to think and feel.
I really like that idea. Another thing I've found helpful is doing something creative when I'm alone, like writing, drawing, or even cooking something new.
That's a great point, Ryan. Creative activities help you focus on the present moment. They also let you express yourself in ways that feel personal and meaningful.
And you don't have to be good at them, right? It's not about creating a masterpiece, it's about enjoying the process. That takes the pressure off.
Absolutely. It's just for you, no one else. You're not performing or trying to impress anyone. You're simply doing something that brings you joy.
So, we've talked about accepting being alone and exploring who you are. What about building a routine or structure when you're alone? Does that help?
It definitely can, Ryan. Having a routine gives you a sense of purpose and stability. It helps you feel like your alone time is intentional, not just empty.
Can you give an example of what that routine might look like? I think our listeners would benefit from something specific. What would you suggest?
Sure. Let's say you wake up on a Saturday morning and you're alone. You could start with a calm breakfast, maybe read a book for an hour, then take a walk outside, come back, and spend time on a hobby you enjoy.
That sounds really nice and balanced. It's not overly planned, but it gives the day some shape. I think that would help people feel less lost when they're alone.
Exactly. And the key is to choose activities that make you feel good. Don't fill your time with things you think you should do. Do things that genuinely bring you peace or joy.
That's important. Being honest with yourself about what you actually enjoy. Sometimes we do things out of habit, not because we really want to. Being alone is a chance to break those habits.
Yes, and it's also a chance to slow down. We're so used to rushing through life, always moving to the next thing. Being alone gives you permission to just be, without any rush.
I love that, Priya. Now, what about people who feel anxious when they're alone, like their mind starts racing or they feel restless and uncomfortable?
That's a very real challenge, Ryan. For those people, it helps to have a calming activity ready, something like deep breathing, stretching, or listening to soft music.
So instead of avoiding the alone time, they can ease into it with something gentle. That makes sense. It's like creating a bridge between being busy and being still. Would journaling help too?
Yes, journaling is excellent. It helps you process your thoughts and emotions instead of letting them spiral. You can write about what you're feeling, what's on your mind, or even just what happened that day.
And there's no right or wrong way to do it. You're not writing for anyone else, just for yourself. That freedom can be really comforting.
Absolutely. And over time, you'll start to see patterns in your thoughts. You'll understand yourself better, which makes being alone feel safer. It's like getting to know a good friend. Yourself.
That's a beautiful way to think about it. Now, Priya, what about the role of hobbies? We mentioned creativity earlier, but hobbies can be anything, right?
Yes, hobbies are so important when you're alone. They give you something to focus on, something that makes you feel accomplished. It could be gardening, reading, learning a language, or even puzzles.
And hobbies can grow with you over time. You might start simple and then develop real skill or passion for something. That sense of growth is really fulfilling.
Exactly. And the best part is you're doing it just for you. There's no pressure to share it with anyone or prove anything. It's purely for your own satisfaction.
I think that's key, doing things without needing external validation. When you're happy alone, you're not waiting for someone else to make you feel good. You're creating that happiness yourself.
Yes, and that's true freedom, Ryan. You're not dependent on others for your mood or your sense of worth. You carry that within yourself.
So let's talk about physical activity for a moment. Can exercise help with being happy alone? I think a lot of people underestimate that.
Exercise is fantastic for this, Ryan. It releases endorphins, which naturally improve your mood. And when you're moving your body, you're less likely to overthink or feel stuck.
Right, and you don't need to go to a gym or join a class. You can just go for a walk, do some yoga at home, or dance in your living room. It's all about movement and feeling good in your body.
Exactly. And being active alone can feel really freeing. You're not comparing yourself to anyone else or worrying about how you look. You're just enjoying the feeling of being alive and strong.
That's such a positive way to frame it. Now, what about nature? I've always found that spending time outside helps when I'm feeling disconnected.
Nature is incredibly healing, Ryan. Being outside, especially in green spaces, calms the mind and lifts the spirit. You feel connected to something bigger than yourself.
And you don't need to go far, just a park, a garden, or even just sitting outside. Fresh air and natural light make a huge difference. It's simple, but really effective.
Yes, and when you're in nature, it's easier to be present. You notice the trees, the sky, the sounds around you. It pulls you out of your head and into the moment.
That mindfulness is so valuable. Being happy alone is really about being present with yourself, not worrying about the past or the future, just being here now.
Absolutely. And mindfulness can be practiced anywhere. You can eat a meal mindfully, noticing every taste and texture. You can wash dishes mindfully, feeling the warm water and the movements.
So it's about bringing awareness to whatever you're doing. That turns ordinary moments into something meaningful. It's like finding magic in the everyday.
That's a lovely way to describe it, Ryan. And when you approach alone time with that mindset, it stops feeling empty. It starts feeling rich and full of possibility.
Now, let's talk about boundaries for a second. Part of being happy alone is protecting that time, right? Not letting others interrupt it or make you feel guilty.
Yes, boundaries are so important. You need to communicate to others that you need time alone and that it's healthy. It's not about pushing people away, it's about taking care of yourself.
And I think people respect that when you're honest and clear. If you say, I need some alone time to recharge, most people will understand. It's when we're unclear or apologetic that problems arise.
Exactly. And you don't owe anyone an explanation beyond that. Your alone time is yours, and it's just as important as time with others. You have to believe that first, before others will respect it.
So we've covered a lot. Acceptance, self-exploration, routines, hobbies, exercise, nature, mindfulness, boundaries. But what if someone tries all of this and still feels unhappy alone? What then?
That's a good question, Ryan. If someone consistently feels deeply sad or anxious when alone, it might be worth exploring deeper. Sometimes those feelings point to unresolved emotions or past experiences.
So it's okay to seek help if needed. Talking to a therapist or counselor can provide support and insight. There's no shame in that. It's actually a sign of strength.
Absolutely. And sometimes we need guidance to work through difficult feelings. Being happy alone isn't about forcing yourself to feel something you don't. It's about gently learning and growing over time.
I think that's really important for people to hear. It's not a switch you flip, it's a journey. Some days will be easier than others, and that's perfectly okay.
Yes, and progress isn't always linear. You might feel great one week and struggle the next, but every step you take is still a step forward.
So be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace and kindness as you learn. You deserve that, just like anyone else.
Absolutely, Ryan. And remember that being happy alone doesn't mean isolating yourself. It's about finding balance, enjoying time with others and time with yourself. Both are valuable and necessary.
Right. It's not about choosing one over the other. It's about feeling comfortable in both situations. That balance creates a fuller, richer life.
And when you're happy alone, your relationships with others actually improve. You're not clinging to people out of fear or loneliness. You're choosing to be with them because you genuinely want to.
That's such a powerful shift. You come from a place of wholeness, not neediness, and people can feel that difference.
Yes, and you also bring more to the relationship. When you know yourself and feel content, you have more to offer. You're not looking for someone to complete you. You're already complete.
I love that, Priya. So being happy alone isn't selfish. It actually makes you a better friend, partner, and person. It strengthens everything in your life.
Exactly, and it gives you resilience, too. When you can be happy alone, you're not afraid of solitude. You know you'll be okay, no matter what happens.
That confidence is so valuable. Life changes, people come and go, situations shift, but if you have yourself, you always have something solid.
Yes, and that's true inner strength, Ryan. It's knowing that your happiness doesn't depend on anyone else. You create it from within.
So let's bring this all together now. What's the core message we want our listeners to take away from this? What's the heart of being happy alone?
The heart of it is self-acceptance and presence. Accept yourself as you are, spend time getting to know yourself, and be present in the moment. When you do that, being alone stops being something to fear and becomes something to enjoy.
And it's a skill that develops over time. The more you practice, the easier and more natural it becomes. You start to crave that time alone because it feels nourishing.
Yes, and you realize that being alone is a gift, not a punishment. It's a chance to rest, reflect, and reconnect with who you really are. That's something truly special.
I think a lot of people will find hope in that. It's not about being perfect or never feeling lonely again. It's about building a healthy relationship with yourself.
Exactly. And that relationship is the most important one you'll ever have. When it's strong, everything else falls into place. You feel more grounded, more peaceful, more alive.
So to anyone listening who struggles with being alone, know that you're not broken. You're just learning something new. And that takes time. Start small, be kind to yourself, and keep going.
Yes, and celebrate the small wins along the way. Maybe today you sat in silence for 5 minutes, or you took a walk alone. That's progress, and it's worth recognizing.
And remember, you don't have to do this perfectly. There's no test to pass or goal to reach. It's just about feeling more comfortable and happy in your own company.
That's right, Ryan. And if you ever feel stuck, come back to the basics: acceptance, presence, and kindness. Those 3 things will always guide you.
Well said, Priya. I think we've covered this topic really thoroughly today. I hope our listeners feel inspired and encouraged.
Me too, Ryan. This is such an important skill, and I'm glad we could talk about it. Everyone deserves to feel happy, whether they're alone or with others.
Absolutely. And thank you all so much for listening today. We really appreciate you spending this time with us. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love for you to explore other topics we've discussed, like building confidence, managing stress, or finding purpose.
Yes, there's so much more to talk about, and we're excited to share it with you. Take care of yourselves, and remember, you are enough, just as you are. Until next time, be kind to yourself and enjoy your own company.
Thanks again, everyone. See you in the next episode of Easy English Talk Podcast. Take care and stay happy.